The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Sunday night here in the Triple Bypass Series held a cup race that was a one for the ages. Aero loose strategy, guys struggling to save the car on the bumpy, wide, multi-groove Chicagoland surface that put on a thriller, and we're right back at it here today for some ARCA action. What can these drivers do on the abrasive, wore-out surface here? Let's find out. We got about 110 laps to find out the answers. Welcome everyone to PTR TV. Today's coverage, Triple Bypass ARCA Series, back for another season here, presented by Cultured Designs. We're at Chicago for 110 laps. As usual, myself, Corey Silva, in the booth. I got Brad Dalton again with me to help out with all of the calls. So, Brad, we saw one for the ages here on Sunday night, and these drivers really put to the test, and we'll see what happens here today in these ARCA machines. Hey, hello. All right, well, Brad's having a little bit of audio issues. I see him blinking in here, but he's not actually here. So when you get the verbs.
What about now?
There you go. Hot nuggety.
There we go. You touch a mic for half a second and it goes away. We love tech issues. Yeah, it's been a good start to the Triple Bypass season. Not a good start to my microphone season, apparently. But yeah, there's dogs, and two, it's the Chicago Speedway. So Chicagoland here has been a great kickoff to the season, Corey, and I'm excited to see how it plays out here with ARCA tonight. Going to be a challenging one for these drivers. You and me were talking about it before the broadcast. Going to be an interesting strategy run tonight.
Well, I guess it depends how you want to fry your eggs there. I don't know why that was the verbiage I chose for that sentence, but perhaps I'm looking forward to breakfast already in the morning. Excuse me, while we do have one set of tires, and we'll talk about that on the pre-race. It is a long race, though, 110 laps, so it's about 180 miles, somewhere in that ballpark. So they're going to have to make it a pretty far distance. So long run pace will come into play. No stages, another point that we'll bring up as the night progresses. So the guy who can save the tires and persevere on the long haul is going to probably be in an advantageous spot as we do wrap up qualifying.
Yeah, qualifying, just a few cars here left running through again with a very strong grid showing up here tonight for the 110 laps going through here. I'm excited that the whole season here is going to be broadcast as well. ARCA tends to be a really fun Tuesday night run, and I'm excited to really get to dig in this season here for Tuesday nights. Of course, traditionally my Tuesday nights had, pesky real life obligations, so I'm excited to get to see a full season of Triple Bypass ARCA here, along with the Cup Series, and see how it all plays together. A lot of familiar names and faces, so we'll really get to see who drives well in ARCA.
Yeah, we saw some names from ARCA last season carry over into the Cup Series, which was interesting to see as some of these drivers again progress through the Triple Bypass ranks, a series, a sanction rather, that basically holds every sort of motorsport that you can consider. From the Cup Series on Sundays, the LOL Series, which is their sister series, puts on trucks on Mondays. Then we have this ARCA on Tuesdays. We get some Road GT3 Legacy GT3 racing of sorts on Wednesdays. Then we got Xfinity, or I guess ORAPs on Thursdays. That'll take some time. Fridays, I think we're off, and then Saturdays we do some dirt. So drivers all move up and down the ranks here in TBP. And Adam Bossy, last season's champion, starting things off here so far on the provisional pole.
And Adam Bossy, of course, had the pole Sunday, so he wasn't able to capitalize Sunday night, just 48 hours ago. I'm curious to see if he can capitalize tonight here around in a different car, same track, second verse, same as the first, possibly. And we'll find out here in 110 laps time. This is going to be a fun one, Corey. Buckle in, grab yourself a Chicago dog, and if you don't know what a Chicago dog is, they're actually pretty good. I'd recommend it. Strict rule, though, no ketchup as we get ready for the grid.
All right, well, that may be a fight in our private chat later because I'm pretty basic when it comes to my dogs. Again, this race presented by Terry Brooks. We want to give him a shout out. The Cultured Designs series, he will be sponsoring all, I think, 14 or so of the races on the calendar. But again, like, share, comment, subscribe here on PTR TV as we fire things up for 2026, trying to get on our mission to 2,000 subscribers. We had a little work to do, and would help if any of our new viewers can hit those few buttons for us. But let's head down to trackside, give you that starting lineup here today from Chicagoland Speedway. Starting today's race on the front row, again, last season's ARCA champion, Mr. Adam Bossy, with James Honeycutt to his outside. Third, we have Chad Winstead with Matt Harmon in the fourth spot. I had an amazing pass on Matt Harmon last night, and I'm proud of it, so I just wanted to let everybody know. Caleb Brown in fifth. Dan Williams going to roll off in the sixth spot. Walker McNulty in seventh. Alan Kunman, Blackstone, Virginia, in eighth. And then our top 10 consists of Ward Fisher, great starting spot for him. And then Mark Herzog in 10th.
Moving on from there, we go P11, Justin Baxter with Ben Harkham, Mr. Dr. Pepper himself, in 12th place. Mark Jarrell in the Cinnabon car in P13 with Cameron Kane Affleck in 14th. P15 here on the night one, Mr. Jason R. Benson. The R is for, we'll figure it out with the boss man Al Corey there to his outside. Clifford the Big Red Dog, Adam Shaw, P17 with Jacob Bettis in 18th place here. P19, Jack Plyer with P20, Tyler Ruelas going through, and I think just a couple more cars. One Mr. John the Naj Crutchley and Chad J. Thompson in 22nd. 23rd, Joshua Bose and Matt Alfredson in 24th, and a few more cars here. Samson Lewis Jr., Zach Nerney starting in 26th, and last on the field, Casey Ellis in 27th place here, Corey.
Yep, of course, Zach Nerney getting that first career TBP win in utter thrilling fashion. You have to go back and watch that VOD stream if you have not done so, but not on Twitch, of course, on the tube of views. By the way, Brad, we got to figure out Twitch streaming for Thursday. A little off-topic stuff in the background. Anywho, our race details sponsored by this segment is not sponsored. 110 laps around this place. Again, one set of tires, so it'll be very critical to take that set of tires at the perfect time. My recommendation is close to halfway as possible, but we'll see what these drivers do. One backup car. Our incident system is kind of relaxed a little bit here for ARCA. 14 gives you the drive-through. 20 gives you the boot.
Going to be interesting to see how the drivers play the strategy here, and as it goes, of course, the no stage, the fun that runs through, and well, you just got to be patient and work your car around. And again, can Adam Bossy do what he didn't do Sunday, start on pole and win? He's got the 76 there to the outside, who's going to be challenging. This is going to be a fun one. Buckle it in, 110 laps, and who knows how this is going to come out in the end.
We had a hot, slick track on Sunday night, but under the Chicago lights for the Cultured Designs 110, and a champion on the front row. Honeycutt trying to make something happen on the outside. Green flag in the air. I see a little bit of wheel spin. I see a little bit of wiggle from the 76. He didn't get going. That gives Bossy the whole shot as the gaggle will fan out through turns 1 and 2.
Coming through, we saw on Sunday a lot of cars able to fan their way around the track, run whatever line they want. Right now here in ARCA, they look to be going 2x2 out of turn 2, down to the inside. Chad Winstead, that number 97, getting pushed by the 17 of Caleb Brown here, trying to find their way through. And on the high line, Adam Bossy trying to hold on for now. See how he does here. He'll at least get credit for leading lap 1. He's got about half a car length there on Chad Winstead. And here comes Honeycutt to the outside into 1 and 2, trying to get the pass done, trying to get back into P2, trying to charge for the lead if he can.
So we'll see what he can make happen. That 76 really has some huge momentum, but kisses the wall down the Brant stretch there. Cost him some of that momentum. And again, the outside lane here, big in at it as Ward Fisher. That's a little bit too high. Major wall tap. That may be some suspension damage there. Toe link. I don't even know if these things have toe links, but whatever it is, he may have some damage. A lot of wall contact there. But 76 a Honeycutt. What is tire saving? Answer, not what James Honeycutt's doing. He has a head of steam from the top, taking it high, trying to cross over low. What's he do through 3 and 4?
Purple versus purple car here up front. Ward Fisher with a meatball flag. He did break a suspension component. He is going to have to come through and take a faster pair down the inside, though. James Honeycutt trying to find a move. Adam Bossy blocking just enough, but Honeycutt finds a door there. There's enough space to try to make it run, and Houdini of Chad Winstead just pops up in the middle here into 3rd place. He's watching here. He's got a great view here of the purple versus purple car as he would like to lock his way in up in the front. Does he try to go high, low, up the middle? What's he want to do? Well, right now, I wouldn't do anything. Here comes Matt Harmon to the outside.
Nearly looking 3 abreast there through 3 and 4 is Matt Harmon in the number 28 automobile. Looking to the outside, Caleb Brown in the, I believe it to be a Costco car. Yes, it is. Looking to the inside lane here. We got Little Debbie in the form of Dan Williams. Is that Little Debbie? It looks like Little Debbie, but it's not Little Debbie. It's Happy Dad. But, I mean, I guess you're a happy dad if you're eating Little Debbie's for that matter. But here we go again, back up front. Honeycutt does have the lead, was able to take it. And look at Caleb Brown there, Brett, all the way 3rd lane. These drivers, tire saving not in the dictionary here today. Or perhaps tires just aren't falling off to what we'd expect.
Only 5 laps into this. Give it a little bit of time. I'd say if this thing stays running green for a while, we're going to start to see tires absolutely shredded side by side. Bossy and Honeycutt yet again here, Corey. They are not done. A little bit of side draft here. Let's see him to 3. He's going to squeeze just enough. These guys are giving each other just enough room.
Oh, and just enough is right, and that's back of the shot there, Adam Highline Shaw. Again, taking his name quite literally there, putting it in the fence. Clifford going to have a little bit of scuffs there, maybe good to go to the vet. But again, side by side, outer lane seeming to be the advantageous one, Brad. This car very akin to the old 550 Cup package that they ran last time we ran a Cup race here at Chicagoland. Momentum is paramount, as well as keeping it out of the wall. Who's that multicolored machine up there? That's Walker McAnulty. That's Walker.
Yeah, one Mr. WM up there on the high line is up front. Honeycutt, Bossy, and now Matt Harmon. Again, Matt Harmon bringing this in. And, you know, one of the things about Matt Harmon, his son races go-karts. And I got to wonder, some of that go-kart knowledge can come in handy here in ARCA as he chops down there, blocks Adam Bossy, goes to 2nd. Matt Harmon trying to go to 1st. He's going to try to pinch a little bit there off of Honeycutt, coming off of 4 to the line. Who gets credit for the lead on this lap number 8? It will be Honeycutt by less than half a tenth. And let's see here, can Harmon finally work his way through? And then you've got Kunman to the outside. So we're just shaking things up early, and of course,
oh my goodness, up and on his door is the 58 of Justin Baxter. Somehow Barney the flagman sleeping and does not call anything there. Honeycutt completely decimated. There is the yellow flag. I don't know if that was an admin yellow flag or not. It wouldn't be, it'd be fully justified if it was. We'll go and sort out the replay. I mean, we kind of caught it live. I saw what happened. Harmon just got tight and couldn't pull it up from the outer groove there. Couldn't keep it down off the high groove, rather. Yeah, he just washed right up, and poor Honeycutt. And look at Baxter with the acrobatics there.
tell you what, if you're Baxter, that is a change of underwear. Forget the car repair. You are going to the bathroom on that one. As he had a good run there. We hop on board with the Crown Royal car. You need some Crown Royal after that. Let's see here as he goes through. So there's the tap, there's the through, and I mean, he's just in the sandwich. There's nothing you can do there.
So unfortunate. Again, that's what happens here on some of these tracks where the inside lane starts to be a little bit harder to run, as it forces people to make more aggressive moves. And when they do that, as we have some takers into the pits. Brad, I didn't like the camera crew there, so I kind of forced a camera guy into this pit wall, which helps us out. So, but drivers will have to make tough decisions. Let's go over the weather. We didn't do that in our pre-race. 70 degrees, so that will probably lead to why we were so aggressive. The speeds are so high because grip is, all but unlimited here tonight, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are running on pace right with what we are running Sunday in the race, with 30-second flat laps, just over 30-second laps here for majority of the field of their best lap times running through. I got to imagine a lot of these guys are taking fuel right now. If anyone takes tires lap 11, you are a brave soul. But yeah. I've heard of crazier things happen, let's be honest.
I mean, the only way you're doing that is if you just completely make a mistake. I don't think there's any feasible way that anybody would do that voluntarily here. But again, as you said, crazier things have happened. But I did have a train of thought, but it has quickly subsided, which is nothing new for anybody that knows me. But looking to the inside is Harmon there. And is Harmon coming to the pits? He is. That may be a self-induced penalty. That's what I have a suspicion it could be.
Incident responsibility.
Yeah, but we don't have, I know some series, some leagues will do a at fault, you kind of call your fate penalty, go to the back, kind of dirt track style. But this could just be, Harmon's a really clean guy. He does not want to race like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if, that's a self-induced penalty on himself. Topping off, you never know. Topping off will matter. But yeah, we raced at Phoenix last night in the truck series, and I did the Phoenix Haymaker slide draw move, and everybody said it was like the most artistically perfect move they've ever seen. And I did it on Harmon, and he even complimented me on it. So I wish I had a clip of it, but I want to race. So who's to say broadcasters don't have skill and we can't drive? Yeah, I just like to make that known in public. It's now on the airwaves. But anywho,
you know what they say, anything that goes on the internet can't go away. So
But now we have Alan Kunman in the 3. We have Caleb Brown in the 17, and then again our pole sitter Adam Bossy, and then Chad Winstead, Al Corey, a quiet top 5, and then the Cinnabon of Mark Gerald there outside of row 3. Barney will get him going for the first restart of the day. You can see Ward Fisher trying to catch up. Flashbulbs going. Flashbulbs don't even exist in this year and age, but green flag back in the air. Lap number 13. Hopefully it's not unlucky.
We'll see here if it's lucky or not. You got to have a little bit of luck on your side here, as we learned Sunday night. So we'll see who has luck in the end here, as the sweet Cinnabon car is trying to get past the tire car there of Al Corey with the inside. Up front here, again, Adam Bossy just trying to hold P3 with the guard lock 97 of Winstead there to the outside. Coming through up in front, Alan Kunman doing the line that's not a line, that shouldn't be a line. Trying to hold off Caleb Brown here, tacked to the wall.
That was some net code, I believe, from Al, which is kind of something we don't see too often. But 97 having the run of champions there off the top. A lot of times you'll see that outside work really well through 1 and 2. It does work through 3 and 4. I find it more difficult to run, but it seemingly is super fast. Caleb Brown putting that into existence right here. Now you have that. Well, actually, that's Chad Winstead who's the blinker right there. But either way, there goes to 17. Caleb Brown has the run, has the momentum, pulls to the outside of Kunman, and he's going to pass him like he's sitting still, and nearly some contact off the exit, but the 3 held it down.
Yeah,
that Al Corey bottom of 3 wide.
All right, Al, let's see how this goes. Adam Bossy very clearly deciding he doesn't want to be up in the front right now, so he is going to try to hold it through 3 wide, trying to clear himself. Mark Jerome clears himself just enough there as the 42 at Jason R. Benson. The R stands for a real big launch here, and then a real big lift to stay behind Al Corey. And you see here, he's just kind of holding his line right now. It's conservative racing here, lap 16, or at least it probably should be, as again, we got to get to a lap 110, and there's another about 50 minutes of green flag running if we go another 50 minutes without a caution.
Yeah, which, again, that's not too long of time, but at the same time, it could also fly by, so to speak. It takes a lot of time, but it flies by if it does go green, especially from the driver's seat. But Zach Nerney still hasn't put a sponsor on that ARCA car. May have to send some emails after that Sunday night win. But he's looking to the outside. That's James Honeycutt pulled out the backup car, so now he has to be super careful here to not get too much damage. And then are we 3 wide again? As we'll give some of the guys in the back some attention. We are 3 wide. That's Adam Shaw. That's who is that? The 91 car in the mix as well. I think that's a 91, but I don't see a 91 in the list, so it could be a number mismatch there. But either way, some good racing to be had, and again, good racing to be had up front. Mark Gerald trying to make something happen underneath Winstead, who may have cooked the tires. Gerald usually one who saves his stuff and methodically works through the field, trying to rip it on the inside.
Yeah, and if you can get a pass done, sometimes it's easier to hold a guy behind you than it is to get past them. So I've got to wonder if maybe that's his thought process right now. But then again, dropping down there, and now the 97's through. Adam Bossy trying to make his way through as well on Mark Durrell. Let's see if he can clear, just having to hold through. That bottom line doesn't seem really fast through 1 and 2. We saw a lot of guys Sunday like that bottom line 1 and 2, but it's not working as well here tonight as 3 and 4. It's definitely working pretty well. Swapping out here the 83, trying to go past the 97. It's going to work his way low through the front stretch. Now into turn 1, it'll flip its way back around yet again, just trying to hold through. And Benson and Corey and Harcum, some of the big names here, the Titans, some of the OGs of the league. That's a better way to phrase that, coming through.
And as you can see here on the graph, Winstead did not run a 4-second lap. That is a glitch because of his blinking going on, but a 54 for Caleb Brown. We'll see what it is this time by. Nearly contact with the 81 and 83 there on the front stretch, and you can see Caleb Brown running 0.2 of a second faster than Cunman. That's absolutely some fabulous stuff. But also, Jarrell there and the number 81, not too far off in that 0.5 of a second bracket. Look at Zach Nerney, nearly putting the pace on as the leader. However, he's in the 13th spot. But that inside not working out. But what I do wonder there, Brad, is, again, long run, short run. Sometimes the top is faster early, but it tends to be more of a cheese grater. If you're fast now, are you still going to be fast on lap 50?
It's hard to say, and something that I think it just comes with practice and patience. And I think a lot of these guys are probably thinking long-term like that. They're probably saving a little bit. Everybody except for Walker McAnulty in the top 10 haven't pit yet. So these guys are at a slight fuel disadvantage by about 10, 11 laps. So they've got to just watch a little bit here as they go and really think about what they're doing and plan that strategy a little bit different than the guys behind them. And that can play in a little bit. I think if you're running like a 30.7 right now, you're probably thinking about fuel management and doing okay. And you can see that big gap that's really formed up there. Shows just the difference in pace.
And that's between Reyes and Honeycutt. Honeycutt, again, probably the one of, if not the fastest guys here, but just has to work his way through the field. And the thing that he will be dreading is if this thing goes green to the end, because he's 3.5 seconds back, and he has a very quick Zach Nerney to his inside, and that will slow them up. These cars, again, very based on momentum. I said a little bit earlier, Brad, the last Cup race here, I believe, was 2019, because obviously 2020 was what it was, as somebody's in the wall. And when we raced here in 2019, we had 550 horsepower, and I don't know the exact of these ARCA cars, but I know it's in the realm of it. So this race is very much like the Cup Series used to race here in reality.
And and it's a good race. I really do enjoy these ARCA cars in the service. I know a lot of people have a lot of feelings about certain versions of cars and certain race cars in the service. I won't name names of next gen. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I find that generally everyone really likes these ARCA cars. I haven't found a person that doesn't like them. I'm sure there's someone out there, and someone's probably said something in YouTube chat, and I just haven't looked yet, but somebody out there doesn't like these cars. Right now, Caleb Brown, I think, has used up all his pace here, Corey.
Yeah, he shot out of a cannon, and that cannon has now been retracted to its home base there. McNulty, just Walker, McAnulty. I think McAnulty. There we go. Trying to drill that on the old noggin there. And what's he got? High Chew. Some kind of gum, some kind of Asian gum. I have no idea what it is, but whatever it is, it's fast because he's looking to the outside, trying to make that pass, and will make the pass on Winstead, setting his sights on Caleb Brown in that number 17 automobile. And Adam Bossy ripping the bottom of the track, and I have a feeling that is intentional. Maybe he's slower lap to lap right now, but traditionally here on the service, the bottom will save the tires better on the long haul.
Yeah, and just, again, strategy right now, I think, is the big name of the game. You got to think to lap 110. There's no stage break. There's nothing crazy to worry about. You just need to think about getting to the end of the race. And right now, you're probably thinking fuel as well at this point, because I don't think they can go 110 laps on one tank of fuel. I might be mistaken.
No, absolutely.
Somebody might tell me I'm wrong.
Maybe if I would say 60 is the hard stretch, but traditionally, again, this is loose knowledge. I'd say usually they can make it about 90 miles or so on these mile-and-a-half tracks. So I would say 60 is the long stretch, but I think getting to 55 should be doable. Which again, that kind of makes kind of a one-strategy race where just make it to that halfway point and go. But if a caution comes out, there could be a wrinkle in that, which is why you got to keep watching to the end. That's Jacob Bettis in that Winn-Dixie car here as we watch that second pack battle, and he is following Baxter. Remember, Baxter was on his side on that one and only caution we had. He's trying to work his way up, and he's side by side with Honeycutt, who is also, again, two fast guys who had very early issues and struggling to recover.
I think this is kind of interesting to watch at this point and see these drivers that were up at the front so early that are now just sort of following into the back and not really trying to push it, which I didn't expect. I was expecting more of a challenge to go forward. I was expecting the pack to be a lot closer, but these guys are not really trying to take this second pack forward, and I'm not sure what's kind of been the holdup, because in the front of this pack, Zach Nerney, Justin Baxter, Honeycutt, and Bettis, they're quick drivers, but it just seems like that gap has been allowed to open and continue to open the more they battled with each other.
And that will certainly happen there. And just going back up front, because we've been following that battle in the back for quite a long time now, and where we thought Caleb Brown was going to fall off and, maybe he had used up his stuff, maybe he had exerted too much. Well, he has managed to hang on. Winstead, I thought he was falling too. We thought the 113 was the one to play, but now Winstead looking to the inside struggling, the inside losing grip, losing momentum, but the only way to pass Brad is put the car where they're not. He's going to drive to the inside, try to get momentum, try to clear, at least try to side draft to keep with him on the straightaway.
Yeah, here's where things will get interesting. If this big group of cars start to battle a bit, will that allow that pack to close up? Is got some weirdness happening here.
113 hitting the wall there, and here at Chicago, the wall is kind of one of those asymmetric walls where it's not perfectly symmetrical, which is kind of weird. So sometimes the wall kind of ebbs and flows, and when you run that high groove, it is a little bit risky. But 113 found that out, but Caleb Brown doing what he needs to do. Winstead having his connection issues. Again, Bossy ripping the bottom. 113 again in the fence. Might have to give himself a little bit more breathing room to get by here as we now eclipse lap 34. And actually, is our sponsor here today? Number 23? Just wanted to give a shout out. I don't think Terry Brooks is here. He's not.
He is not.
But again, just to give some more assurance, Cultured Designs. I just had to update that logo, but we want to thank Cultured Designs for what they did in sponsoring this series. Cultured Designs is, as I stall to find the ad read, they offer high-quality millwork, low-maintenance architectural detail that combine timeless beauty with long-lasting durability. There's trim, molding, columns, custom accents. They craft products that look like wood, resist moisture, insects, and rot. If you're in the Concord, North Carolina area, you can get some work done via Cultured Designs. And hopefully we have some info in the description to help out there. I saw Al Corey having some issues, but even if he is having issues, still tagging on to that lead pack.
Yeah, Al is doing what Al tends to do, which is be a sleeper agent. He loves to just be right at the back of a battle and just sit back and enjoy it and let everyone battle it out. And then at the end, when they're all done and tired, he'll just, pull a SpongeBob SquarePants, bust that big toe out, push the throttle just a little bit more, just enough for him to go ahead and get the pass done, get up front. I've seen him win races like that. I've seen him snag a podium like that time and time again. It's going to be interesting just to watch that 45 and see where that Canadian car can find its way here by the end, because this front pack, they're battling hard. You get back down to the 81 and the 42, they're battling hard. There's plenty of great battles just happening all through the field here. At some point, it's got to come to a head.
Well, I'm kind of wondering if that's the case here. I mean, they are going 3 wide, 2-3 wide. Alan Kunman running in the middle there. Seems like he is just trying ever so hard to hold his rein in here and not make that move. I know too well how that feels. You see guys side by side, or you're stuck with a guy to your outside who won't go away, and you're looking for some way to get yourself in a position where you can be on the offense, and he can't do that because the 113 will side draft him, pull him back in, and then back up front. Winstead, again, looking to the inside of Caleb Brown, and he gets ever so close to clearing, and this time he does, but will there be a crossover engaged? Caleb Brown, he will just stay back in line and not make another follow-up.
Now watch Adam here. What does Adam choose to do? He can go inside. He can go outside. He's going to pick inside through 1 and 2 here, try to get his way around. He's going to be side by side with Caleb Brown. They'll kind of swap positions, but Caleb has the better run off the corner. That lets him get back up front, but deep dive into 3 there, changing up the line a little bit. Can he clear off of 4? He certainly is going to force the issue. Goes through behind him 3 wide. Al Corey has decided to force the issue to the inside. Can't capitalize, but now he's there. He's thinking about it.
Al Corey coming to play here again. Al, someone who traditionally is going to be better on the long run, and that's what we have now. 41 laps. We did have 1 caution, but of course nobody able to make any tire swaps there, just because of the fact we only have 1 to play with. And we got Dylan in chat saying nobody should pit for tires. That's the strategic decision. Maybe he's charging for that decision. But yes, no one pitting for tires until their lap 55 pit stop or thereabouts. But you would think that this is lap number 2 and this is still pace lap formation. No, this is lap number 42. We have 6 cars under a blanket who are 2 by 2 quite a bit. Caleb Brown lost the lead, trying to get it back. Adam Bossy, the pole sitter, who's only led not many laps of this race, trying to get it back, has led 4 from the pole. Now he's back to the inside, trying to side draft in, trying to get right to the right front. He'll dive to the bottom. Let's see if he clears.
Definitely gonna give it a try here to clear through the slides. Oh!
He had a hard checkup to evade the wall off the corner. Luckily for him, he still has the preferred lane, but lost the position. Can he wind it on up off corner exit, get the momentum down the front straightaway, and try it one more again on the 97? I got to keep remembering not to focus on the 97 for that issue by itself, but he will not. Falls back into line. Brown to the inside. Winstead trying to kind of block both lanes, so to speak, as we close in on that pit stop. And never mind. Big jump.
Oh.
Big jump.
Oh. All right. Well, hope somebody brought a backup car. Hope a lot of y'all brought a backup car. Clifford is going to be leaving skid marks, not on the rug, but on the track. Let's get a triple bypass PTRTV instant replay here. How did this happen? I knew something was going to come up eventually. And boop, there it is. Happy dad is a mad dad.
Yeah, Mr. Ward there just made some contact there on corner entry with Happy Dad there. Let's check it out one more again here from this other perspective. 35 of Dan Williams there. There's Ward. Ward done scented it.
Man, definitely gave it a try, and I knew eventually something was going to add up. And talk about throwing a wrench in the strategy here. 10 more laps probably would have been a perfect time for that to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Man, what do you do? What do you gamble? What do you do here?
Well, this is 65 laps to go. I am going to ascertain, which is a very big word for me, that you can't make it from here. And Al Corey is going to stay on the racetrack, as is Matt Harmon. I don't think you can make it from here, and I don't think you could save from here either, because that's a lot of laps based on my pure guessing. So that being said, I think that they're going to take tires here and have a really long run to the end. Let's see. Yep, 97 has his jack going up, but Bossy does not. A lot of tires there, but I did not see the jack go up on that Twitch machine of Adam Bossy.
I was trying to look and really tell who other than Adam went through. I'm thinking a lot of guys might have taken right sides. Getting a little bit of info on the back end, it's 51 green flag laps to run through. So on that math, you still can't make it to the end right now.
Yeah, so that leaves you two decisions, where if you're Al Corey, if you're realistically, let's pull up the ticker once again, and we'll pull up the stint tracker. And you can see only those two. Al Corey did not pit on any of the cautions. Of course, Harmon pit that one time, so he has a little bit more leeway. But Al Corey, I guess by that logic there, Brad, even if it's 51 green flag laps, let's say it's 53 laps with a caution, it would be a two-stop race either way. So maybe at this point, Al is going to try his hardest to get to halfway and make it a one-stop race, but then he's going to have to pit under green, presumably, lose a lap and a half, and then just pray the race holds true under green. Look at him, 2,500 RPMs. He is hyper-saving.
He is definitely trying to stretch it out here. Interesting at that point to see him still out and about. That's a commit to strategy if I've ever seen one. But also, I mean, if he can save a whole pit stop on the field, then, I mean, he's done something right there regardless of where it's at. So let's see. Al likes to gamble sometimes, and I tell you what, if there's ever a time to win the Powerball, it's probably right about now that he wants to do it. We'll just kind of see how it goes through. Let's take a look and just watch in the long run.
Well, this could be a very difficult, very dangerous restart, because we have drivers on old tires, drivers on new tires, drivers on old tires but full fuel loads. So a lot of different components going on, and the fanning out will probably be very erratic. And early in the zone is Al Corey. That's going to spread the field out. That'll help his causes out as we go back on to green flag, lap number 48.
Getting things running here. Chad and Matt Harmon up front with Adam back behind in that 83. Kind of keep an eye on them, because at some point Al Corey will get out of their way here within the next few laps. And once he does that, that is going to kind of set them free as the field is starting to go single file, something we didn't see before. A lot of spread out early in this run, but now that we've hit half distance, it seems like single file might be the way to go. Try to get a little bit further to the end. Never mind, I'm going to stop talking.
That's Winstead there. He had a 14-second pit stop on his time through the pits, which implies that he took 4 fresh tires. So not a surprise that Al Corey will get decimated there and get his doors blown off. Matt Harmon took fuel only. 7-second pit stop. I would extrapolate that to be fuel only, but here we go. There's the danger zone. Caleb Brown thought about 3 wide, but chose to back off of it. There's Walker. Walker getting to the inside, and big wiggles from Harmon through the quad oval, through the tri-oval. Luckily able to save it there. Caleb Brown trying to figure out where to go with it.
I don't know how Harmon saved that. That is a lot of skill to be shown right there from Harmon, keeping that car together, because it tried to break out, it tried to break again, and then it said never mind, and then it said wait, let me try one more time here. Watch him there as it kicks through and around, and there was a little bit of help there actually, I think, coming off of 4, and he kept it out of the 3, kept it straight, and it goes to show sometimes it's just that smooth wheel control and a little bit of throttle can make a big difference.
Absolutely the case. Good bit of driving there to hang on to her, and Al Corey starting to get swallowed up there. There's McNulty getting by, the 3-tire. Well, actually, Bossy, I didn't see the jack go on, but he's still in second. And that may be why the 113 is going to drive to the inside as we just await that lap. How far can Al Corey stretch it? We do know Harmon can go a little bit longer than everybody else, but again, Brad, then we have that other question where, from what we saw, it didn't look like Bossy took tires. So what does he do? Does he maybe pit around halfway and, put the tires on then? Because he's going to be giving up time to these fresh tire guys as well. So really, we talked about the strategy being pretty cut and dry in this race. Well, it is now all but that.
I think some of these guys who haven't taken tires yet are gambling on a late race caution and fresh tires at the end, where these guys who took tires now and committed to that half race strategy, just under a round half race strategy, taking tires then coming back out, they have committed to the bit. They're where they're at, and I don't know that I'd want to do a late race restart on 30, 40, 50 lap old tires and try to, have a good run when I've got guys who will be further back in the field, say, maybe back of the top 15, but fresh tires, they can make a run. We're already seeing the difference that tires can make here, as I see like 3 wide, 4 wide all coming through just outside the top 10. This is a bit chaotic coming around.
And it's fun as a driver, but it's also absolutely terrifying. Again, you want to start the season off on a good note. We are kind of doing the old Winston Cup traditional point standings, no resets, no playoffs. So if you're looking to get yourself a Culture Designs ARCA championship, you can't spare a bad race. Next week we'll be headed to Rockingham Speedway. We still have the asterisk in the air, if whether that's the new one or the old one, but we're heading to Concord Speedway. That'll be the first ever PTR TV broadcast at the Concord Speedway, which no longer exists. Bristol, Lime Rock, Dover. We were kind of on the West Coast a lot earlier in the last series. We're kind of more on the East Coast here in this season with some bigger tracks. So that should all be very interesting. And interesting indeed is Al Corey coming to the attention of his crew here just at that halfway mark.
So Al Corey very committed to the 55 and 55 run. And again, it kind of hurts him that he didn't pit under caution, but at the same time, he might be able to really run a good strategy here and maybe just steal a win on luck. You never know here how a race can play out, and again, if there's a late race caution, it can shake everything up, and sometimes it's easier to keep cars behind than it is to try to pass them and get ahead. So how many laps will he go down, I guess, is the big question, and where will that leave him here later in the race? As he is in, he is out. He was in the box for a matter of 14.4. That's a 4-tire stop.
Absolutely. If it was anything but, I would be highly concerned. He's going to exit the track. He's in 1 and 2 right now. Winstead coming off of turn 4. So that's about a lap and a half or so back. But again, Al Corey is presumably good for the rest of the race, but he will have to probably run about 80% based on your source there, Brad. 51 laps. He has to go 55, and if we don't get a caution, he's going to have to do that all by his lonesome, which that's not going to be an easy feat. The guy who is right now in the best position overall is actually Matt Harmon, because he does have tires and, should only have to make one more pit stop, because he can have, let's see what his stint details are. 46 laps. He has about 5 laps left to go, so when he pits, he's good to the end. He can just go full bore.
The guys who are good to the end, they are gambling that there's not another caution at this point. That is really what they're looking at. So when Matt Harmon pits, he's got to cross his fingers, toes, legs, arms, hair follicles, whatever he can, honestly, to just hope that there's not a caution near the end of this race, because it would absolutely derail his strategy. He's got to hold on to it, keep it going here, as good battles coming all the way around.
I swear there was no joke involved there, the fact that you were talking about a caution coming up. Brad, please tell me you know where I was going with that. I don't want to say it.
No, I don't know where you were going with that, actually.
Clearly you were not looking at the screen, because then it would have been far more obvious. All joking aside, having fun with these guys. Cam Kane on screen. Affleck, he is battling, or soon to be battled with, the 35 of Dan Williams, who is 4 laps down. He was involved in one of the incidents, but back up front, we have a good battle. Two very colorful cars. Casey Ellis, a name we have yet to say once in this broadcast, looking to the outside of Winstead. And then just ahead of that, you have the High Chew Mustang of Walker McKay. So we'll see what happens. Again, fresher tires starting to get the edge out here over those guys who took alternate strategies.
I just ask why drivers have been putting so many Pokemon on their car lately. I see this in Elbows Out a lot, that drivers just like to sneak Pokemon on their cars here and there. And right now, Casey Ellis proving the point with a Pokemon on his paint scheme.
Where is there a Pokemon?
Right there on the side, next to the number.
Oh, I'm old. I only know the original 151, so there's no way that's in the 151. Is it?
It is. I don't think it's in the 151. That's actually a good question.
Yeah, anything beyond that, absolutely, I know zero. I'm OG. We hoarded we didn't hoard Pokemon cards in the day. We just bought them and kept them. I know that was just a crazy world of resellers not existing, but podcast topic of which this is not. Ben Harcum there, back in the Dr. Pepper automobile, as some controversy with him changing to Chick-fil-A as his Cup Series sponsor. That kind of ruffled some feathers of some of the people in the booth here. And whoa, Nelly, we done had some crazy 3-wide pack racing here. A gaggle of sorts off of turn number 2. Herzog and the In-N-Out Burger. You got Baxter, again, on his side driver earlier. Kunman, he's fast, but you got everyone on different strategies, Brad. Kind of hard to piece together the whole situation here, because everyone's doing something slightly different.
This is that point in the race, and I'm prepping a lot for Daytona coming up. The Rolex, of course, the iRacing 24 hours this weekend, and then the real life one next weekend. So there's a lot of understanding, and it stays true in Cups here, or in any NASCAR series, that you hit a point in the middle of the race where sometimes strategy is just a big question mark, and you sort of mix things up as you go, and there's really no telling who's going to be where for what, and you sort of just let it ride. As here we go with the number 28 into the pits.
Yeah, Harmon in and Honeycutt in. And this is right around lap 66, so that would be, 45 to go, so well within range. Everybody else is about 20 laps into their run, so if they wanted to, they could take it to lap 80-something. But again, a lot of these drivers will be doing fuel only and having about 60-some-odd laps on their tires to finish things through. And will that be the winning strategy? Well, there's no full way to answer that. And again, look, if anything's going to interrupt this race, it's going to come from this little gaggle on the screen. 3 abreast, Brown to the bottom, Herzog in the middle, Bossy to the top, ripping the fence. Bossy, 2, 3, and 4. Talked about how hard that is. He found out the hard way, no pun intended.
I think Adam Bossy needs to be getting some lessons from one Mr. Highline Shaw on how to run that Highline, because I think that's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen Adam Bossy up there take the Twitch mobile and tap the fence. So, hey, Adam, maybe hire one Mr. Highline Shaw to try to give you some tips there, because he tends to do a pretty good job up there.
The guy who's 3 laps down?
Yeah, but he still can run the high line really well. 3 laps down or not, that's irrelevant. He was involved in an incident. Come on now.
But again, the top of the track, as I said earlier, it's not symmetrical. It's not built with you think of a compass, a perfect circle, which kind of is how 1 and 2 is with the safer barrier. But through 3 and 4, it is a lot more erratic, as is some of the up and down, left and right. Something may have happened to Walker because he lost a whole bunch of mow. Let's see what happened through 1 and 2 here. Oh, well, he done pancaked it in the fence for the whole corner, so that'll do it.
Oh, he's just trying to chastain it, but not at the right track to do a chastain. So drops him back there, promotes Nerney up to P3, who's trying to force it 3 wide up front for the lead. He's a little too far back. Benson and Ellis going to try to battle it out here. The ghost car versus the fish car versus the no scheme car. We'll see how this plays out here as we are on 40 laps to go.
Yeah, 40 laps to go. And just to reference the first driver who had, oh my God, Casey Ellis has speed, but absolutely making the self-induced mistakes. Now on the top of 3 wide, Nerney all the way to the bottom. I don't know if that lane is going to have enough in it to maintain, but it'll at least maintain for a little bit too wide as the 35 falls back, trying to get to the outside of Nerney with the momentum off the backstretch. It will. Nerney will dig to the bottom, and Nerney will dive it on in there. Let's see if he tries to pull the slider and clear the 35. He'll have ample room to do so.
A good clear there, and now he's just got to keep it running, keep it consistent. But again, we don't know if this is the battle for the win right now because strategy is up in the air at the moment here. It does look like these guys aren't saving tires. I'm sure they're trying to, but when you're racing this hard, sometimes it's
Benson.
Easier said than done.
Benson just murdered the turn 2 wall there, but I don't see any damage to the vehicle, and that puts the 113, who just wall rode unintentionally and unadvantageously, hits the wall again, but keeps the momentum built up. Benson got to block that outside. You know that's what he wants through 1 and 2, and Benson's going to give him the top. Nerney's going to go to the bottom. This is prime Chicagoland. 3 different drivers, 3 different lanes in play.
This is absolutely great racing going through, and I'm really excited to see how this plays out for these leaders as they go. Benson again down the inside, McNulty there to the outside, and again just Nerney and Ellis holding in and along as they can as we hit lap 74 of 110, heading into turn 1. They going through again, spread back out 3 wide through turn 1, pick a lane, find a lane, commit to a lane, and just like the lane you're in. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but in the end, you're happy with it. That's the important part. And these top 4 are on a breakaway train right now from the rest of the field. Look at the gap there to P5, 2.6 to Chad Winstead, and then Alan Kunman, 7.3 off the leader right now.
And then you go back, Adam Bothy, who, from what I remember, only took fuel on that caution. And now he's back 8 seconds off the lead. And if I'm Adam Bothy, I think I'm pulling the white flag right now. And I'm throwing in the white flag. I'm pitting for 4 tires and fuel. If I'm him, you got to give yourself enough time to utilize those tires. So let's bring up some of the details that I don't think we've talked about here today. He about 1.2 seconds of fall off, so it's right at that moment. I think he needs to pit right now to take advantage of it, but we'll see what he does. Al Corey, remember, he is trying to cut this race right in half. He is 22nd, still 1 lap down the middle of the back straightaway, and actually I'm a little confused. Oh, remember, Al Corey has to save fuel, most likely to do this on a 1 stop, and you can see the car super far back in the shot. Those are the leaders, so he's actually losing time on the cusp of going 2 laps down.
He is running that great strategy that we see a lot in road racing, where you know what your delta is, and that is what you run to. You don't care about anything else around. You know what lap time you need to hit and how much fuel you need to save each lap to get to the end. Again, the fun of being in sim and this not being real life is that you have all those numbers directly in front of you in the black box. So all you got to do is just follow those numbers lap on lap, and I believe that is exactly what he's doing. Also, probably some good Daytona prep for him if he's trying to be that diligent to a delta. But at the same time, leaders coming up behind, it's going to make things interesting as the 81 now goes in and out of the pits here.
Yep, and by the way, Al Corey running about 0.7 of a second off of the lead pace right now, and that is due to his fuel saving as the caution comes out.
Oh.
It's not you. Who done costed it?
Matt Alfredson?
No immediate trigger, but you done right. Good job, Brad.
That was a wild guess just based on...
Oh, my God, Al!
Oh! I think Al decided he was tired of fuel savings, where that one came from.
Now, baby, do they have bad blood? Because Al Corey, it looked like he went hunting there. It looked like he went hunting. I mean, if you look at that, he went hunting. He's the boss. I don't want to piss off the guy who sends me the checks, but it looks like he went hunting there.
I wouldn't think he went hunting there.
It
And also
looked
the fact
like
that
it. It looked.
I mean, my lawyer has advised me to plead my
I look
Fifth Amendment
fat,
rights.
but it could just be a balloon in my shirt. I mean, you know, there's things, but what that will do is absolutely benefit some people drastically and absolutely obliterate other people's races. And for the majority of the guys up front right now, it's going to obliterate their races because they don't have that extra set of tires.
This is going to shake this up in ways we couldn't predict. We did say a late race caution, though, would change everything out, and there's 30 laps to go, so anyone who saved a set of tires, they're going to have time to get advantage of those tires here as we get a race off pit road. Look at the 113. Walker McAnulty just absolutely flying his way through. That was impressive on that 113 to get up into P2.
So what I'm looking at right now, Brad, is the first guy who is in position to win this race. And from what I am seeing, it's going to be Alan Cudman in the 8th spot. So I'm looking at times, 14.4. He is the first person to have a pit stop that implies a 4-tire change. So I all but want to say Goodwin 3 car, but you never quite know. And no, by the way, I'm not saying Al Corey is an intentional wrecker. He's going to have, in the words of Ricky Ricardo, Lucy, he's going to have some splaining to do because it didn't look pretty. But no, I am not saying the boss man intentionally wrecked somebody.
Bet the boss man was texting and driving or talking and driving. You know, the drivers do all hang out in the voice chat together. So he could have been talking, trying to crack a joke, and just forgot to, hook the car left there on entry. I've seen drivers do that once or twice.
Should we ask Al, or is that, you think it's too in the moment?
Let's wait. We'll ask him later. I'm sure he'll tell us later. He always goes back and watches the broadcast.
I'll get yelled at. I'll get put on probation. It's
better you than me.
But the benefit for him is, well, actually, there's not much of a benefit. He actually needs another caution because he's 1 lap down in the free pass spot. So if he can get another caution, he does have fresher tires in a large portion of our field. So that could work out in his favor. But again, this, the one set of tires, Brad, I talked about it. I'm like, this is a long race for one set of tires. It's going to be really hard to play this out. It's going to take some skill, and it's going to take a lot of luck to work in your favor, which it's, for some guys, they were lucky and then they caught a break and then they lost the break. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out because we got tire strategies aplenty.
This is going to be a fun one. Buckle in, wear your seatbelt, or don't wear a seatbelt. I would prefer if you wear a seatbelt, but in this situation, maybe you don't need one. This is going to be fun. Barney comes around here, sees everyone, and great jump from the 97 of Winstead there to get this race back underway. We're green here, lap 82 of 110 going.
Now watch out where you go, because that number 3 car is the one on fresh tires, and he's going to try to slice and dice through this grid of older tires, and Winstead's just going to try to get whatever gap he can get and pray, because that's all he can really do. Adam Bossy is there as well, also on fresh tires. Don't count out Herzog as well. Justin Baxter, some of these guys who have fresh tires, but they're 3 wide in front. The gaggle here, trying to get as much momentum, trying to get as much space, as much of a gap on those tire cars as possible.
One of the things I think that's interesting to look at is Casey Ellis took 2 tires, and why are we 4 wide? What are we doing, guys? Nerney all the way on the low side. He's going to back out of it. Herzog reforces the issue here, though. Takes it 3 wide yet again, and caution. Oh, Naj.
Backwards on the Brant stretch is Mr. Crutchley there.
That's Oh, he almost saved it.
Yeah. Oh, that was 7-11. That was Dan Williams, I think. But yeah, some contact there with Mr. Tyler. Sent Mr. Naj, sent him Mr. Spinning. And that's kind of one of those who came up, who came down, but I would err more towards the 160 coming up in my non-administrative guessing rolls.
That's also one of those that I look at and I kind of go, in real life, that's not going to be, I don't think that would actually cause a spin. I think that'd be just a little bit of a paint scuff.
All right, so Al's going to be the free pass guy now, so he'll be happy, so we could talk to him now, right?
Yeah, that's on you, though. Good luck.
Mr. Al, Mr. Corey, you got us.
Got you loud and clear, guys.
So your little turn 3 kerfuffle looked like you were hunting blood there, and I know that was not the case. What happened there in that little, that last caution?
Yeah, we're just running side by side, cruising. I was actually shutting the motor down, trying to save fuel, and I had to change my black box to look at my fuel setting, and I just drove right into him. So it was completely my fault, and I just looked at my black box for a second, and that was it.
Well, luckily, I mean, hopefully he had a fresh car to get himself out of that, but you have fresher tires. You're going to get your lap back. How do you feel at this last 25 laps or so?
I feel like it's going to be really important for me to listen back to the broadcast and to hear how badly you roasted me for that pit call or non-pit call.
I mean, you did pretty well in the Phoenix race last night, or what was it? Whatever other race it was, Sunday night. So, for every good there has to be a faux pas. But you're looking good. Well, you got fresher tires than half the field. We'll see what you can get out of it, boss.
Yeah, I mean, I drove up from 16th to 6th on the first run. I felt really good, so we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Good luck.
Thanks.
So, he's in good spirits.
Yeah, paying, like you said, Brad, he's paying so much attention to what he's having to do with the fuel, looking at the black box, trying to clutch it, trying to look around, and sometimes you just kind of have sensory overload.
Yeah, in real life racing, they have crew chiefs who would do all that and spotters to tell them everything, and they wouldn't have to worry about any of it at all. But of course, here in the sim, we don't get the advantage of any of that. You sort of just have to run your own everything and hope you can figure it out.
Absolutely. As we go down to 1 lap to go before our restart, which will take us about lap 23 to go. So, Brad, this is probably going to be the hardest who's going to get it of all, just given everything going on. But who's your pick?
Oh, boy, you're putting me on the spot. I like to look at Adam Bossy. I think he's in a good position right now. It's just a matter of can he capitalize.
Yeah, Adam Bossy, I definitely would go with him as well, but just for the sake of not just being a copycat, I'm going to go with that number 3 car. I think it's who slices and dices through traffic better. And even though Kunman is a little bit further back, in fact, he's just a car directly behind, it's going to be, you can't lose with either one of those picks. But again, with every caution that comes out, it does take a little bit of the good out of those fresh tires, Brad. So enough of these cautions. Maybe it'll preserve Winstead here.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one here as the pace car is going to pull off. This will get us set in for 25 to go coming up, and this is going to be a great jump from Chad Winstead. Barney giving him the green flag. We're back green side by side. McNulty and Cameron Kane there for second. Everybody else behind gets going, and we'll see how these guys can handle getting to the end. 1 and 2 look good so far.
So far, we are looking pretty here coming through turn number 2, and The pack is kind of spread out for the time being, but I expect it to come back together and look for that 83 down to the inside, but he's stuck down there. It's the number 83. It's a very defensive position being on the bottom, and he has Kunman right behind. That's the driver he is most watching out for, is Adam Bothy. And look at Bothy going like a boss, taking it 3 wide for the lead through 1 and 2.
I mean, he had to give it a try somewhere, and what can he do other than just do it there? And great run there, but can McAnulty get a run through? 3 wide behind there, the 3, the 37, the 97. They're giving us a great show right now. And watch Mark Herzog. He's going to force the issue. Keep it all 3 wide, and that's a side bump. They're 3 wide behind as well, back with Benson. Goodness me, these guys are racing like it's the end of the race.
Oh, no, and we're junk.
Rip.
Oh, holy Adam Shaw, Batman. That was about 12 eons after the wreck. But either way, let's go check it out on replay, even though we saw most of it live here. The long shot not going to be too advantageous for us, so we'll tie it in a little closer. Down to the inside, and it's that old moment where you're on the inside, you blend back up, and it kind of forced a 3 wide, and Adam Shaw for 3. And let's just say he bricked it.
Gotta watch what you're doing, kids. Oh, man.
Yeah, let's see. So he was committed to the top, and just I guess he couldn't read the situation. He was committed to the top, and when you're committed to the top, when you're committed to any line, you can't just turn a race car on a dime, and I think that was his turning point. You know, he's high line Shaw, and there's benefits to the top, and there's negatives to the top.
Definitely think we got a taste of the negatives there. That was man, that hurt for him, and that's him out of this race.
Absolutely the case here, but what we are going to do here is I need some water, and we need to recharge for this last restart. Well, not last restart, but for this crazy run to the checkers. We'll be back in about 60 seconds. Stay with us. And we're back here on PTR TV for the Cultured Designs Triple Bypass ARCA Series race number 1 at the Chicagoland Speedway. Just had a caution on lap number 90. Now it's 92 that we're going to take right now. Green flag in the air. Adam Bossy gets the whole shot. And watch out for that number 3. The other one on fresh tires. Strategies aplenty, Brad. And now we've had some cautions to space things out. Let's see who can persevere.
I tell you what, if you haven't been here for this, you have missed a good one. This has been an exciting one to watch here as we watch this battle up front start. The 3 and the Bossy getting their way along.
That's the 43.
I tell you what, golf.
Jack Plyler there, just completely into the fence. And look at this going 3 wide. Caleb Brown, remember he led some laps earlier in the race. Now he's on the bottom of 3 wide, or rather in the middle of 3 wide. Harmon to the bottom. 35 of Casey Ellis to the top of the track. They will settle things out. But I think Captain Wall here today is Mr. Walker. Again, scraping it more. And look at Justin Baxter, highest he's been all day. And where did a Wild Nerney appear?
Wild Nerney being just, well,
hey,
wild.
Wall.
We'll see how it plays along. I mean, guys can't stay out of the wall right now. I don't know what's going on, but that wall has a magnetic attraction to all of these ARCA cars. Let's see how they can keep it together, if they can keep it together, going through 16 laps to go.
Now that safer barrier, kind of one of the older style safer barriers here at Chicago, it kind of has that weird tapering effect, which, depending how close you are to it, can put you in some difficult spots and, you know, force you into some tight scenarios there. My goodness, the 76 had a whale of momentum there off of 4. Thought he was going to absolutely inundate the back of the 28, but timed it pretty well to evade. And he's looking to make something happen. Look at Ben Harcum, a name I don't think we've talked about too many times, but he's ripping the fence like a boss, trying to hold on to Caleb Brown. Is up front. You pick Bossy, I pick Cunman, and we got a 50-50 chance to, never mind.
Oh. So that's the 91 around. And
Josh
was that
Bose.
Herzog I saw with no front bumper?
I believe so. Let's check out the replay. Oh, Jarrell there and the 91.
Okay, so Herzog no bumper was
That's just
irrelevant.
Yeah,
of
that's
whatever
just
happened.
damage from before. We'll just get a top-down perspective here and try to make something of this. I mean, they are 3 wide, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I think the 81 thought he would have more space than he did, and he didn't have it, and that was a wreck, but not a very damage-inducing wreck, but a wreck nonetheless, and this will put us down closer to 10 laps to go.
And then getting down into that 10 to go. Again, this is the point where the tire delta is going to make a big old difference on the night. Who has the tires for it? Who doesn't have the tires? And where does that play in? This is just going to get really interesting at this point. Just trying to tell who has enough to get through to the end and who can keep this car running to the end. It's going to be, it's hard fought, not a clear winner on this one. This is one of those where you just kind of buckle in and you watch and throw all thoughts out the window.
Absolutely. And again, I think the sleeper pick now might be Baxter. You know, the top 2, they've been at it. We've seen Bossy, you know, he's kind of methodical. He didn't lead a lot of laps, even though he was the pole sitter and came late in the run. But Cunman, we really haven't seen what he's made of here today. He started 8th, but hasn't been, you know, challenging for the lead, but, you know, just kind of been stuck not having the ideal track position. This is the best track position he's at all race. I mean, maybe he's a sleeper pick, but again, I really have a sleeper pick on that number 58. But remember what we saw on Sunday, Brad. The top 2 got, you know, played aero games with each other and allowed 3rd place to pass at both. That option's also on the table.
Definitely is. I mean, again, this is one of those moments where really anything's on the table. How does it play out? How does it run? This is going to be one of those where I think in 13 laps, we're going to look back, and I don't think either of us are going to be right on the predictions, but, you know, we'll find out. And there's only one way to really know, and that's to watch this race all the way to the end. So don't go anywhere.
Of course, don't go anywhere indeed, but stay tuned to PTR TV, of course. because we are going to be busy. Tomorrow night we'll be live with Elbows Out Racing from Insert Track here, Brad.
Daytona. Where else?
From Daytona. Thursday we'll be live with the area iRacing Dirt Fundraiser Special at Charlotte, which will be fun to see the area guys back at it. And then we'll be live again Sunday night with the Triple Bypass Nichols Oil Pros Cup Series. And Tuesday, some more ARCA. So things are going to be busier here on the channel, and we'd love to have you guys along for the ride here. So do all that fun stuff to support us and our partner leagues. But anyways, down that Brant stretch, coming to 11 laps to go. That there of about 6 minutes of live action. 83, the pole sitter, number 3 to the outside. Not quite last season champion, but definitely a multiple-time winner last season, as well as that number 58 of Baxter, someone who won a race or so last season, to the inside.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to really see. You've got a lot of big hitters here in ARCA, all in a very close position, and, well, only one person can be the winner at the end of the race, so how will it play out? Pace car is going to pull off. We're going to get things lined up here for 11 laps when they cross the line. Adam Bossy with a great jump there, and that is going to set him up for a great position with that 3, of course, in second place. We'll try to have the run. Everybody fighting for everything they can as they'll go 2 wide back behind and just keep this run through and alive. Can somebody go last to first? I doubt it with this much time left, but they're going to try.
Well, not last to first, but second to first is the goal from Cunman, and he's going to try to take full advantage of it now to the inside in 3. That's going to be a difficult move to make stick, but thus far, maybe he can side draft, maybe he can pull him back in, go door to door into the corner, leaving a lot of space. I think that's a difficult place to be in, but then you have Baxter licking his chops, trying to figure out where to go. Cunman really playing conservative with his moves right now. I think he needs to get a little more aggressive on the air. That inside is hard to pass on.
It really is. You can make it work, but it's easier said than done, that's for sure. So let's see if he can make it stick going side by side here. And of course, Justin Baxter in P3 just wants to capitalize from these two battling. But of course, then you have Harcum and Brown back behind as well, who would love to capitalize from all this battling. And then you've got Matt Harmon back in the mix here outside of the camera shot to the right there. And look at this running through as we go. And again, anyone I think in the top 5 can have a chance at the win here. It's 9 laps to figure it out. Through 3 right now, though. Adam Bossy really looking like the car to beat.
He is the car to beat. Cunman, now he's stuck because he has the 58 to his outside for any chance he needs to clear. And I think Cunman needs to find a way to make that top work because he's getting pinched down. I think there is a way to make the bottom work. He's got to get closer. He's got a side draft. He's got to pull back in line. No, Baxter's going to fill the gap in, and now we're under caution once more. And that's going to be Walker and the 21 of Jacob Bettis. And this will make things interesting with a very short sprint to the end.
Let's see here how this one happened. And
Jacob did car high, bro.
One more shot of that because that was, yeah. Someone trying to take notes from one Mr. Almost looked like taking notes from Al Corey to the inside there.
Yeah, he just washed up the track, which is very easy to do, but definitely not giving that outside car any chance to make the corner exit there. So really kind of cut and dry in that scenario. But this will put us down to 4 to go or so. And again, if you're Cunman, you kind of get a reprieve now. You get to be on the outside, which is, I think, where you need to be. But Brett, he doesn't really want to make that outside lane work, because even when he had the chance to get there, get to the outside, dirty air really hasn't seemed to be a factor tonight. Even when he has that outside, choosing not to run it, which I find, a very interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't really... that's got to be a case of just driver preference. I don't know another reason, Corey, to be honest. Is that kind of I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking it's just driver preference.
So what I would do, and this is what I kind of did last night at the Phoenix Raceway, was you run the top of the racetrack, you get the run, especially if you know you're faster. You run the top, you try to get a little clean air, running a little higher, a little lower, but you get that momentum that you need. And then once you have that momentum built up, then you dive to the inside in the subsequent corner. Maybe you can do a haymaker, a dive bomb to clear. But when you run the inside on both sides, you're not getting any momentum from either side of the track, and that's his problem. He needs to wind the car up to make a better opportunity for an inside pass. Now that I race a little bit more than I used to, I actually feel like my driver opinion is maybe 4% credible, where it used to be 2%, because I have been doing a little bit more racing here in modern times.
I mean, it's definitely a lot more credible than mine, because I will openly admit time in, time out that I'm not the best driver. I have some driving knowledge, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I am the next Dale Jr. In the booth, or insert 1,000,007 other drivers that have done commentary in the booth at some point after their racing careers were over.
And it was always fun when, not fun, but interesting when Jeff Gordon got into the booth, and he brought a modern opinion, a modern knowledge of what goes on in a current driver's mind and how the cars drive. And when Darrell Waltrip would try to say something, and Jeff Gordon would literally correct him and say, no, that's not true anymore. And sometimes that's how I used to feel when I would say something, and then a driver's like, no, we don't do that anymore. The physics changed. And I'm like, yeah. But now I kind of know. I try to do at least one race a week. It's my goal. Yeah, did I mention that I won last night?
No, you haven't mentioned it. It's good to know, though, as we're coming up 1 to green. I'm waiting on the day that you say you're not going to handle Tuesday broadcast and doing the production part because you want to race.
They told me to do a POV broadcast one night, so that's actually from Al. But anyways, 4 laps to go here. 6 miles of racing, if my mathematics is calibrated. And that 83 seeming to be in a good position. That 3 to the outside, I think, has the speed if he can make the right decisions and get the right run. Green flag back in the air. 83 gets the jump he needs with 4 laps to go. Baxter going to battle alongside Caleb. Now let's see. Kunman got a whale of a run last time by on the opening jump through 1 and 2, and it looks as though he's replicating it this time by look at him go.
Now he's got to get past, though, and it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass, and let's see what he can do. He's right on the rear bumper, a little tap there almost. Almost seemed like we were bump drafting. Maybe a bump and run attempt here. He's going to try to dive it down low. Let's see if he can clear here off of 4. This will be coming 3 to go.
Door to door.
Oh, they are racing hard here.
All right, you got to send it on in there. Haymaker it in there and try to clear. He can't quite do it. He's going to be 99.9% clear. Is he going to force 100%? He will clear. Alan Kunman to the lead with 3 to go. And another caution flag. This will put us into overtime.
Those two are going to come to blows. This is going to be an interesting finish here for these two up front. If they finish on track, I'll be shocked. It almost seems like those two might take each other off track.
I'm trying to figure out what happened here, and I'm not coming up with any obvious cues. So until I find one of those, we're just going to move on with things and figure it out, because it didn't seem like anything obvious there. But yeah, that was that was some good racing. That was some hard-nosed racing at the end of the race. I don't think, because there was no collateral damage there, I don't think Bossy's going to be upset about that. But what he's going to be upset about more so is that he just lost the lead at the worst possible time to do so.
I can tell you exactly what he just said.
Oh?
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor, and I'm not lifting until I see God or a checkered flag.
That is exactly what Alan Kunman just did.
Yeah, Alan, again, what I kind of expected to happen was what happened there. He drove down to the inside of the racetrack, and he made himself have some space. That tri-oval run, you know what happens, Brad? And you say it all the time, because when you do that tri-oval cut, some drivers aren't expecting you to do it. Many drivers assume you will, but not everyone assumes that you're going to do that. And that could have been part of it too. Perhaps Bossy thought that Gunman was going to cut, and then they both met in the middle there on the actual racing surface.
We'll see how the favor is returned from Bossy, as he's now the rear car here coming up to this green, white, checkered restart. Wave around car going through, and that is the 35 getting his way around, getting waved up to be on the lead lap now. Everybody except for Naj Crutchley is on the lead lap that's on the track.
A lot of drivers here on still racing through, even though we've had quite a bit of cautions. We haven't had the attrition here, which is kind of something that has been the gist of things here on the iRacing service. The damage model kind of allowing you to get away with some things that normally you wouldn't get away with. But either way, we'll see what happens is in this overtime, I believe, and I don't have vivid memory of this, but I believe that we have 2 green, white checkers to avail in ARCA. So we'll see if we need any of those.
I'm going to tell you that 2 is correct.
Oh, hey, hot dog.
I don't think we run 3. I think triple bypass limits it down to 2 here. Somebody's going to rule lawyers me and correct me in YouTube chat, though, and that's the beauty of YouTube chat, is that they tell us the rule here. And yes, I have been confirmed as 2. So sweet. Glad someone has told me I am correct.
So hopefully we do not need that. But, it may come to fruition here as we come down the back straightaway. Kunman getting that lead in that aggressive style. And Bossy, will he try to get it back? Of course he will, but how will it happen? Again, can't count out row number 2. Caleb Brown, always a fast driver. Justin Baxter, and then, your worst case scenarios, if something crazy happens, watch out for row number 3. But Alan coming in the inside, I expect him to get the good jump. But position number 2 has been getting a whale of a run, and that could lead us to a phenomenal finish, Brad.
This is going to be a great one here. Buckle it up and be ready to go as the pace car will pull down here. A very aggressive cut into the pit lane that gives control to Alan Cunman. Through the Geico restart zone we go, and there he goes. Great jump there. Watch Caleb Brown to the inside trying to get through Adam Bossy early. A big shuffle there from Al Corey. Al Corey drops all the way down there. Al Corey might try to still top 3 out of this.
He might, and that's the best case scenario for Cunman, because Bossy did not clear. Caleb Brown's going to go side by side. That's going to give 0.3 of a second, and this may... No, that's well off the track. I think that is Harmon staying off the track with the wreck, so that should keep us green because he's well out of it. And coming to the white flag lap. And again, best case scenario, they're still side by side. Cunman will just drive off into the moonset.
And all Cunman's got to do is just complete 3/4 of a lap here coming around. And Adam Bossy still trying to fight for that second place if he can with Caleb Brown, but half a second to the good right now for Cunman. It's all he needs here going through. Big wreck in the background. Al Corey down to the apron. And I tell you what, we might see somebody steal something out of this one.
Alan Cunman going to come off the corner. He's going to grab the lead, and he's going to grab himself the race win here. And we just have big junk all throughout. Cunman, Bossy, and Caleb Brown going to finish things through here. I did see multiple wrecks on that last lap. We'll try to put some of them into replay formation right here. And I saw Justin Baxter and Al Corey there down the back straightaway. And that's kind of hard to tell who caused what there, but then through 3 and 4, who else did we have?
I think Nerney going across the line.
Oh my God, Tyler went for a ride there. We'll get one more look at that. What happened to Mr. Sunday? Mr. Sunday, that's his name. Nerney, couldn't think of that in the moment. Oh, Al came back up the track and just doored him there. And then
Al was hunting.
I feel like that's going to stick on the old Discord there. Al was hunting. But
Yeah, that's going in the sound bites.
But either way, we got to give our congratulations to Alan Kunman for getting himself a win here in the ARCA season opener at the Chicagoland Speedway. And while he burns things down and does his celebratory activities, let's let you know where everyone finished here today at Chicago. Race results as follows. Kunman gets the win by 0.3 of a second over Caleb Brown. Ben Harcum going to finish in 4th. Cam Kane in 5th. James Honeycutt in 6th. Mark Gerald in 7th. Jack Plyler, Jason Benson, and Walker rounding out our top 10.
Moving on from there, we go P11, Mark Herzog. Samson Lewis Jr. finds 12th place. Daniel Williams, P13, with Joshua Bowes in P14. Casey Ellis, who was running up front for a good chunk of the day, 15, and Tyler Ruelas in P16. Justin Baxter in 17, Chad Winstead P18, Matt Harmon P19, and Nerney with a big old send around in P20.
And then rounding out the grid here today, we have Jacob Bettis 21st, Hal Corey. Not batting 1,000 here today, but he was 22nd. Crutchley 23rd, Ward Fisher 24th, Highline Shaw 25th, Alfredson and Chad Thompson finished this race in the final position. But let's head down and find our race winner. It'd be fabulous if I can find a semi-decent camera angle of him, but that may be too much to ask. But let's go and bring him on in here, Mr. Alan Kunman. All right, Alan, you got yourself a win here today. You kind of went elbows up and made that pass on Bossy. You were really trying to make that bottom work. I was telling you had to try something different. Right on cue you did, and it gave you the win, man. Just talk about how that came to be.
Yeah, it was elbows up for sure. Pretty much all race long from the drop of the green flag. Really good racing all night. But yeah, I was trying to get that bottom to work. I was telling Adam I wanted the top one, a couple of those restarts when I was 3rd. But I was able to make that bottom work and finally slide up in front of him, and it was over from there.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of contact there, but nothing that was really worth anyone getting upset about there. Just hard racing. But just talk about quickly the strategy here today. Obviously, one set of tires. Fuel was kind of at around a 2-stop race, right on the edge of that, but the cautions came out at the worst or the best times, I guess, depending how you looked at it. What was computing that like here tonight?
Yeah, we realized that. We were talking about it before the race, that it was definitely going to be 2 stops. And I think that first caution came out around lap 45 or so. So we all came down and took gas, and then we were just trying to figure out, do we run the tank dry, or do we, wait for a later caution to come back down and take tires? And I started thinking, if it kept running green, I was going to come down around lap 80. Well, I think that caution came out around lap 75 or so. So that fell into our lap pretty good. And we were just able to be patient on that restart and try to work our way back up through there. And I think we had another caution, and Adam ended up in front of me, and I told him, just lead the way. I'll follow you. You make the holes, I'm coming with you.
Well, I'll tell you, 25 to go. Me and Brad had to pick them, and I picked you, and that starts off my season pretty well. Next week, we head to the Rock. I don't know if it's current Rock or old Rock. That may be a TBD, but either way, how you feeling for next week?
Well, what do you mean current Rock? Did they update it?
Yeah, we got a new scan, and we have the legacy scan.
Okay, hadn't checked it out yet. Well, I hate the Rockingham. I don't know if you saw the last race of the season last season, but I had a terrible time at the Rock. I've never gotten along with that place. But I'm going to go there and just run the best I can. Try to get out of there with at least a top 10, and I'll be happy with that.
All right, man. Well, maybe it's the new scan, and it'll be a little easier for you, but we'll see what happens. We'll follow you. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And now second place, ever so close, but ever so far, Adam Bossy with Brad.
Adam, man, so you were my pick to win. You started first, you finished second here today. So close. Better than Sunday, though, man. How you feeling?
Man, I feel great. That was some really fun racing all throughout the night. And, kudos to Alan. He kept me honest on all those restarts at the end of the race. And, when it came down to crunch time, I just miscued on a couple of things, shot up the track in the tri-oval one lap, and that kind of gave him the lead. And then didn't get the gearing on the restart there at the end. So kudos to him. It was a good race by him. And we're back to battling it out again. So sorry to any of the fans that are getting tired of watching the 3 and the 83 go back and forth.
Listen, man, I gotta ask, when you got somebody who keeps you honest like that and they battle you hard up front, it does make the racing a lot more enjoyable. It seemed like you and him were stuck together, and I guess you just said it's gonna be another season of that. What can you do to get the edge over him?
I don't know. I mean, I thought I had a pretty good car tonight. I thought I had the speed for it, and I was doing everything right up until the end. So we're just going to shake it off as, returning to the cockpit in the ARCA car, and we'll go get him next week, and, hopefully we'll be swinging a few punches of our own back towards him.
Absolutely. And next week is 140 laps of Rockingham. What's going to be the plan for that, and how do you like it?
I have to figure out how to save some tire really well there. I know last year when we went to Rockingham, there was a lot of incidents. So I'm hoping we go green, and then I'm hoping I can stay a little bit longer than 10 laps. If I can do that and figure out how to save tires, I think we'll have a good chance.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations on the second place. It was a wild one, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks. See ya.
And third place here today, we got Caleb Brown. Caleb, you had a really good view of that and nearly put yourself in the mix there. How was your race? You seem to have, you were in the Hornet's Nest for the majority of it.
Yeah, I started it out pretty fast and led some laps up there at the beginning, and then kind of got back in the mix during the strategy mix-up, and somehow found my way back at the front at the end.
Yeah, I asked a couple of the guys about how their strategies went. Obviously, this race was a difficult one, even just on the fuel load with one set of tires. Did you come in with a plan or a hope, or obviously with all the cautions, anything that you had strategized, probably you had to think of on the fly and throw it away?
Yeah, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to be able to one-stop at fuel saving. It's not really something I'm good at, so I just went out, led some laps, and decided that I was going to have to pit under green, and got a lucky yellow and was able to split it up and make it work.
Obviously this season with ARCA, I think we get a really vast variety of tracks. I don't know if you've looked at the schedule too hard, but what's your confidence level in what you're going to be able to do here on Tuesdays? Is it going to be a regular thing for the championship, or are you just here to have some fun?
I'm hoping to be in the championship mix. There's a lot of fast guys, so top 5 is probably my ceiling, but you never know. Gonna show up each and every week and give it my best.
All right, that's all you can do, brother. We'll catch you next week at the Rock. I don't know if it's Legacy Rock or New Rock, but it's at some kind of rock, and we'll see you there.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
So Chicago, as it will in the real world, Brad. Everyone said we got to go back to Chicago. We got to go back to Chicago. And I think the virtual world has proven why we need to go back to Chicago. And luckily that NASCAR's finally are.
Chicago is such a good track, and I can't wait to see how it races in real life, because if this is how it races in sim, real life is going to be absolutely crazy.
Absolutely. It'll be certainly some fun stuff to watch around the July 4th weekend, and hopefully iRacing gives us a little more visually, aesthetically pleasing version of it. That's the broadcaster's wish. But the other broadcaster's wish is that you tune in for Wednesday night on Elbows Out, Thursday night, the Area Dirt Special, and then join us again for some more TBP next week here on PTR TV. Any inquiries, you can hit them up on the website, www.primetimeracingtv.com. We got 1 or 2 more gaps looking to fill in, so if you got any openings in your league, let us know. But that's going to be Corey and Brad signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Oh, yeah.